You know, when you talk about the Kennedy assassination and you got thrown into the booth, that scene of Walter Cronkite announcing Kennedy's death, and he wipes away a tear. Did you ever have times where it was tough to control your emotion? I mean, we had the vision of the anchors being the stalwart, stolid, non-emotional kind of person. Did you have trouble keeping it in check?
Yes, I did have a few of those. I talk about this at some length in the book in connection with a conversation I had with your namesake, Peter Jennings of ABC, a couple of times about this very thing. And what happens is if you have that, you know that you can't break down and cry in front of a national audience. That's not why you're there. You're there to present the information, to interpret it as best you can, but to be steady.
Right.
Because if you become emotional in a serious national or international situation, what's the audience going to think? How are they going to feel? So I always controlled it, as I believed that was the professional thing to do, and that's what the professionals all believed. But I think in certain situations, it's all right for an anchor to show emotion. For example, I remember the memorial service on September 13th, after 9/11. And it was held in Ottawa. And there was this great scene of beneath the Peace Tower and that great Gothic architecture providing a kind of shrine for the mourners who came onto Parliament Hill. There were 100,000 people on the Hill that day, and they just arrived silently, many coming from their lunch breaks, to pay homage to the victims of 9/11, 24 of whom, by the way, were Canadian.
Right.
But I remember my voice quavering that day, and I didn't control it because at that point, you're in sync with the audience. They know what this is. They know this is a memorial service. They know how they're feeling. If they see that you are also feeling that way, that will strike a bond between you and the audience. But if you're in the midst of the real story of 9/11 and is breaking all around you as it was that day, I mean, we were staring into the face of hell that day because we didn't know what was happening. I remember getting in there, and we didn't know how many planes, whether there was a train being hijacked, what it would mean for Canada, were they going to come here, what about our planes, everything. And the White House during that period, for about 3 or 4 hours, stopped releasing any information because they felt that whatever they, unless they really had it right, they couldn't say anything.
Sure.
Because they were afraid that it would be misinterpreted and be blown out of proportion. So in those kinds of situations, you really have to be steady.